How's it going, my fellow YouTubers? So this is going to be a video about the Moto X Pure Edition. Now, I've had the device for a couple of days, and I've been doing my job on getting the word out there about the device, giving you guys my impressions of it all over Google Plus, on my website, on YouTube, posting videos about it, and it's almost time for the review. I'd rather wait a little bit longer, but a lot of you guys are just dying to know what I think about it, and I love this device. This device is amazing. But if you go on social networks, if you go on Google Plus or just anywhere actually, you will find a lot of hate on this phone. Even some of the reviews, it's only gotten a couple reviews, and they're really good. The Verge, even though they call it a mid-range device, give it 8.6, and Gadget give it a 90 out of 100. So it's got a lot of good scores. It's doing very well, and they couldn't find a lot of things wrong with this phone because there isn't. There is not a lot of things wrong with this phone. The one thing that I have an issue with, and that people are going crazy about, is calling this phone either cheap, calling it a mid-range device, saying that it's not as good as other phones out there. Now, I don't know why this is still going on. It's 2015. It's obviously smartphones are getting cheaper. It should happen. There's no reason why smartphones should still be costing us $700. Why do smartphones cost more than tablets? Why? It's time for a change, and Motorola is making that change. They're giving you a hell of a phone for a really good price. I have used all of them. A lot of people that are calling this phone cheap, saying that it's not as good as the other ones, saying its battery life sucks, saying all these things, have never even seen one, have never even held one, not sure if they've even used a Motorola device. I've been there. I've used Samsung, I've used LG, I've used HTC, I've used every single brand. And I've been there since Android started, since the original Droid. I've been there. I've been there as Android grew. I was there once the skins started showing up. I had an S3. At the time I had a Razr, and then I was waiting for the Max HD, but it took a while for me to get, so I just got the S3, and I liked it. It was a good phone. And then I got into rooting. I rooted that phone and I put stock Android and realized how much smoother it ran. I would kind of go back and forth for a little bit, but I would always find myself going back to stock Android. I would miss the Samsung, the TouchWiz features, but then after a while, I would notice lag, I would notice how slow it was, so I would switch. 3 years later, and TouchWiz still lags. They got these powerful processors. The Note 5 is a fast phone. I'm saying it's fast, but it does lag, and its multitasking is terrible. That shouldn't happen with a phone with 4 gigabytes of RAM. It's got faster RAM than this phone. So it's got the DDR4 RAM, this is DDR3. So it's got faster RAM than this phone, and it's also got 1 extra gigabyte of RAM, and this phone will multitask better than the Note 5 will. And this is called cheap. This is called a mid-range device. How is a mid-range device beating all these phones? I just came from using the LG G4. That one's not called a mid-range device. That is a flagship right there. This runs so much smoother than that. If you watch some of my videos, you'll see me running through the menus. This thing is smooth. It runs so well. I haven't done a gaming review yet, but I was playing some games on it today, and it only gets a little bit warm. The G4 got so hot. So this handles games well, doesn't get hot. It works well. I have no qualms, there's no issues. The display is beautiful. It's very accurate. It's definitely one of the best displays I've seen. It's not a mid-range display at all. Battery life is good. I have no qualms. I can get through my workday easily with this. And if I want to do a little bit more with it, if I want to play games or whatever, if I want to crank up the brightness all the way and just do whatever, kill this one, I would still get around 8 hours with about 3 hours of screen on time. And the thing is, it charges extremely fast. When I tell you that this one charges fast, an hour is about all you'll need to get this phone back up and running. That's it. And anyways, I just wanted to make this video to let you know, if you are online, people are arguing, people are calling this phone cheap, don't believe it. This phone is $400, yes, but it's not cheap. There's nothing cheap about it. You have metal on the phone. You can get wood or leather if you want, but even the plastic, this is not cheap feeling plastic. It's not slippery. It feels great in the hand. So I'm gonna finish with this. To me, when it comes to a phone, it's about the overall experience. And what drives the overall experience is a couple things. First of all, the first thing you do when you grab a phone is grab it. You hold it in your hand. S6 Edge. Terrible feeling phone in the hand. I mean, it's not even comfortable to use. You have to put a case on it. Your hands are constantly touching the screen. I mean, who thought that was a good idea? It looks good, but it doesn't feel good. iPhone 6, Galaxy X6, most phones, a lot of phones, they're just square and they're flat on the back. Just not comfortable in the hand. It's not fun to use. iPhone 6 Plus, screen that's 0.2 inches smaller than this phone, is impossible to use one-handed. I mean, you're going like this all the time, just trying to reach all the edges. This phone is designed to fit in it. Even though it's got a big 5.7-inch display, you can use this phone easily with no issues. No issues. I have no issues holding this phone. It just feels so good in the hand. It's easy to use. It's got a beautiful screen. It's got an awesome camera. There's nothing mid-range about this. So before you go believing all those people, go see the phone for yourself. It's hard to find, yes, but if you can see it, try it out. I mean, you always have 15 days to return a phone anyway. Try it out. You don't like it, return it. But I'm telling you right now, I definitely highly recommend this phone. Motorola is changing the game right now. They're giving you a phone for half the price of the other manufacturers, and it runs better. It gives a better experience. You have all the Moto actions, Moto voice, all of that. It just enhances the experience and it gives you a great overall experience. It doesn't lag. It doesn't get in your way. It's easy to use. It's got dual front speakers. I mean, watching video on this thing, playing games, it's a pleasure. Alright, so that's mine right there. This is the internet. Don't believe what you hear on the internet. I mean, even what I say, you don't have to take my word. You can always hear what I have to say and just hear it, but know that it might not be true. But I have no reason to lie. I have no agenda here, really. I'm all about telling the truth. This is why this is called Real Tech. My Instagram name, Twitter name is I Am Real. I love truth. I love when it comes to technology. I want the industry to move forward. I don't want it to become stale. That's why I can't support companies like Apple, because they like to keep everything where it is now. Motorola is the one letting you customize your phone, adding new features that other manufacturers aren't doing. There's actual innovation there. Samsung is just throwing things at a wall, seeing what sticks. LG usually just copies Samsung, and their software optimization is just, I don't even want to get into that. And Apple, they make great products, yes, but the company itself, I can't support it. But I can support this. A company that does their research, that actually talks to its consumers, that tries to give them the best experience. You know, they give you a good looking phone, a good feeling phone, a good software experience. They give you options. They give you this phone unlocked, completely unlocked, to do whatever you want with it. And this is why I love them. This is why I know for a fact that this phone is gonna succeed. See you guys on the next one, alright? Remember, be real.